You are now listening to the sounds of
Hey, I want to introduce now somebody that we're very excited to talk to, someone we've been in tune with, listening to for a very long time, one of the founders of Anticon and also one half of themselves, producer, DJ, MC, a legend in himself. Give it up for JEL.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah,
Hey,
for sure.
Thank you so much for joining us here on a Thursday. I know it's tough to find time, especially in a busy schedule in this world, to find time to sit down with us and talk with us. Really, really appreciate it, bro.
Dude, I assumed you were still in the Bay Area. Are you still located in the Bay?
Yeah, I'm off of Market and Grant, West Grant. I'm in between Ghost Town and fucking Acorn.
Tell us a little bit about San Francisco right now. How is it changing? It's getting fucking crazy.
This is Oakland.
Oh, Oakland. Sorry.
Oakland.
It's getting crazy out there in Oakland, though, right? Things are changing, getting better, getting more neutralized, or
it's
what?
not getting crazy. It's always been crazy.
I love it.
It's cool. It's cool. Like right now, I think the whole town in the West is mourning Saafir's death.
Yeah,
for
for
real.
sure. Yes.
Not the whole town, but like the homies that know, like your favorite rapper's rapper was Saafir.
Right.
So like that's
Yo,
what's happening. Like
JEL,
I've been living in this part of the city, the town of Oakland, for I don't know, maybe 10 years now. And it's just it's Oakland. It's motherfucking Oakland. People like that never come. They're like, oh my god, it's so crazy there. People shoot each other. I'm like, yeah, like every other fucking
Every
city.
place, everybody's getting shot. Yeah.
All good.
Yo, we had the pleasure of talking to, your partner in crime, Doseone, who also named Saafir as, I think, his #1 influence for hip hop.
Me and Dose, like, we actually became friends because we were Saafir fans together.
Okay. What'd you say?
Oh, absolutely not the #1, but
Yeah.
a very, very strong influence, definitely. When it came to, like, lyricism and style, yeah, Saafir, of course. But also Project Blow, Micah 9, Ace, I mean, the whole fellowship, all of that. But yeah, we got into indie rock shit. We like our music went all kinds of places with Anticon because we were connected with Amoeba Music and we met a lot of folks that were doing weird shit. So like we stepped into that weird shit, but we were hip hop from the beginning. But then we took it to the place where Anticon found itself today, which is like this weird niche.
It's very time machine. It's very, very time machine. When I hear Anticon, it takes me back automatically, bro. It'll take me back to 2003, 2004. Automatic. No problem about that. But while I got you talking like that, 10 Seconds came out, what, 99? October 99-ish?
Yeah.
You got something that's 25 years old. That's insane to think you got something that's a quarter of a century old. I mean, come on now. Tell me a little bit about that and how do people still come up to you and tell you 10 Seconds is some shit that changed them or some shit that moved them? Because it moves me.
I mean, always. I mean, just A-Track, the world-renowned DJ, just did a house. He did a dedication to the SP1200, which he's like, I'm gonna do hip hop beats, I'm gonna do house beats because that makes used for both. And I saw him put that on X Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, he's like, I'm putting out an album called 10 Seconds. I was like, I did that shit in 99, homie. And he was like, oh, no shit. Oh, my God. I never knew about that. And I was like, yeah. And like, no disrespect to A-Track, but he was
sleeping.
I did a dedication 20 years ago.
Yeah, he was
however many years, and he's doing it now. But I was like, dude, I have 2 SB1200s sitting at the house. Like, that's what I worked off of because I was a fan and a student of the Bomb Squad, of the Shockley Brothers, of Large Professor, of Diamond D, of DJ Premier, of all of these beat makers that I thought they all made their beats off the SB1200.
Is that a dying art?
I bought one, but they did do that, but they also used the S950. They use Akai like beats. So I was like, how? So I pushed myself to make beats off the SB1200 like those cats, but they were using other components. So I think with 10 Seconds, I kind of pushed the boundaries. Like I don't need no accolades for that shit. Just listen to the music.
Is an SB1200 is that like out of range from what the people are using, like that 930 or the 980? That's like different now, or I thought the SB1200, I thought that was the bigger one.
Well, the SB12, there was an SB12, which was 5 seconds of sample time. It was just made for like rock musicians to have a drum kit behind. It was a drum machine.
Just a loop, pretty much. Yeah, it's a loop.
So when the 1200 came, you had 10 seconds of time, and that means you could. I learned tricks, and I'm gonna pull it up just to show you on the fucking shitty camera that we got here. I'm gonna unplug shit, but like this is my main one right here. Like this is an SP 1200.
Giant.
This is an SP 1200.
Damn.
It's like fucking 15. It's a huge. It's got a zip drive right there, a little disk drive right there. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge instrument.
That's humongous.
But that's what I learned how to make hip hop beats off of it.
That's sick.
And my mentor is Kevin Beecham, and showed me how. My mentor Kevin Beecham showed me how to do that shit. And then when I started working with Mr. Dibbs, I used that for all the Presage shit, and it's been my axe, my guitar.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever. So
What's
to me, it represents hip hop from like Marley Marl '85 up. Like that's what all the dope beats were made off. So that's why I got that shit.
Yo, I must have been
still fun.
I must have been sleeping because Outer Perimeter, I mean, I just recently discovered that album. And, I mean, Presage, you and Mr. Dibbs were Presage. Was this before Greenball was put out and 10 Seconds?
Oh, yeah. No, that's before I met Doseone. You know, I met the first day I met Doseone was doing Presage with Dibbs.
It's hard to find Presage. That's just not even on your Bandcamp, is it?
No, you
can't even find it.
No, it is on the Bandcamp, actually.
I thought I looked. I didn't think I saw it on there.
It's on
It's
there.
there. And we also have the extra 10-minute EP that we did called Invitation to Hell, which is like the extension of Presage, but it's just me and Dibbs. So, yeah, that was like, you know, I was going to Cincinnati, Scribble Jam shit, dealing with a lot of, like, I was coming from Chicago with a lot of Chicago cats, and we went down there, and Scribble became what it was. Just did 95. And drinks. But anyway, so I met Mr. Dibbs in 95 through Kevin Beecham, and we started a group called Alias, which was my high school friend Diallo Brown and Dame One from the Bronx. He was this cat that was living in Cincinnati at the time, and we started a group, and I was the beat maker. Dibbs was a DJ, and these two were rappers. And we had our shit played on roulette. And that's a fucking check mark, in my opinion, way back in the day. Like, I got my shit played on Stretch and Bob. Like, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
But so after that, like, I just stayed up with Dibbs, and we just kept, and then he was like, let's do a song about the Illuminati and the Masonic Temple and about fucking the world that we're living in now back in 1998, which sounded like a bunch of conspiracy theory shit.
Yeah, the majority of the album is conspiracy theory based.
That's the best. That's the best kind of shit. My favorite shit.
But that was before it was a popular cultural thing.
Yeah,
like,
this is before its time, really.
Laura Croft and all of that shit. You know, we did it a little bit before. Not saying that we started, but to have an instrumental album with one rapper on it, which was Doseone, that was about the fact that all of the people that have money want to fucking step on the head of poor people. That's all it was. That's all it was. It's like, and it's never gonna stop, and it hasn't, and it's what it is today. So like, I'm proud of the fact that we exposed some bullshit. Yeah. But it doesn't mean we're changing it. You know, like now it's a sought after record. And the 5 copies I got, I could sell for fucking $100 if I want to, but I'm keeping that shit.
Send one this way.
It's crazy when we were younger as kids listening to that music, you know, thinking that it was so aimed at the government, which it is, but it's also aimed at, like you said, the people, the rich people, the people that are in charge, the people behind the curtain type of shit, you know. People that you don't see that are in front running the puppet string masters.
And it felt like gold to have it. It did. It felt like gold, bro. It felt like you had a gun in your backpack, bro. I ain't even fucking around, bro. When I found that motherfucker in my backpack, I felt like I had a strap on me, bro. Like, you got some problems, bro? I got this motherfucker. I'm telling you, bro. Nobody had it. You were special.
Ammunition.
I had people tell me, like, the first time they heard that, they had nightmares. I'm like, really? Like, that shit's so scary. I was like, that's what me wanted to do.
So niche.
Like, when we finally finished the full album, Brad, Mr. Dibbs, was like, we're going to hell. These fucking these dudes are gonna come and drag us to hell, man. Like, it's over. And I was like, let's shut the fuck up. You know, like, it's all good. But what really happened was all of it came to fruition throughout the America and our Western civilization. Like we were kind of just like, that's why we call it presage, presage. We're just giving you information that's gonna happen. Yeah. Because we're already aware of this shit. It doesn't mean that we started it or we're actually involved in it. We're just letting you know this is what's been fucking happening for years. And now, here we go.
Now it's bigger
than ever. Go. Yeah. The whole fucking world. Here we go.
Bigger than ever.
The messengers. Yeah, that's one part of, I think, hip hop that gets missed is like the people writing and performing this art are messengers of what's happening in society and what's happening around them. And a lot of times there's a bigger picture than what you see on just your normal TV or radio.
And for us, that was hip hop. That's why we listened to Lakim Shabazz and Rakim and Brand Nubian and Public Enemy and like all and righteous teachers, like conscious shit that was like, yo, don't be stupid.
Truth music.
Pay attention to what's on around you, and that's pretty much what that was.
Real
like,
truth.
Pay attention, because these motherfuckers are working to fucking kill you. So you better deal with your shit properly, or don't. Like, whatever.
Coming up as you were as a younger adult, what would you say to somebody like that was trying to get into the game? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what would be
young age? Because you guys were so young.
So
when you
young.
broke through.
What do you tell somebody that's like trying to do what you're doing? That's trying to be a producer. That's trying to fucking produce soul, sage, atmosphere. Trying to do an Anticon. What do you tell somebody like that? Like, where do you even start? You know what I mean?
The thing, I wasn't trying to do that with the homies. Like, we all were doing it together. So, like, what I was telling people that come to our shows, that like kids that like, I love what you guys are doing. I want to get into this thing. I want to do music too. Our whole point from the jump was don't sign a contract with some major label motherfuckers. Don't do that. Do it by yourself. Do it independently. Make sure that you got all your bases covered, because as soon as you sign your shit off, they're gonna fuck you in the ass. And I'm saying that like metaphorically and physically now that Puffy's in jail, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
No, like, for real, right? You ain't fucking around.
You're gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
You're gonna get fucked. And if you do it yourself and you keep your shit together and you keep your family around you and you keep your community around you, you're gonna be successful. People are gonna come at you, but you have that surrounding, you have that family and that community. That's what Anticon was always kind of about. And then we got a little lost, but we didn't get that lost. We like, nobody fucking did a pop single and turned into like did anything for Beyonce or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nobody's doing
so like we just kept
MTV
it indie.
shows?
We kept
different. Like, you hear a lot of the same repetitive sound and cadence and music and everything so repetitive. But back in like those early days for us, which was like the late 90s, early 2000s, it was like finding something that was different, that sounded different than everything else, or like we always talk about, like wearing different shoes than somebody else. You see your friend have a pair of shoes, you never wear the same pair of shoes as that guy. It was like always trying to be different than the next person. I feel like that's died a lot of the time, and back in the day that was so prevalent. It was so in front of your face. It was, everything had to be different, and nothing was more different than what you guys were doing.
And that's what
Anticon,
was so dope.
And what you and you were the backdrop of that lyric, or with the sound. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that, but definitely like that's why we got chastised, because we didn't follow the norm, and we didn't fit into the fucking little cookie cutter ass shit that everybody wanted to do. Because you could be successful, but successful means you get popular, but that also means you're getting fucked in the back end. Like you're not owning your own shit. You're not putting out your own shit. You don't have control over your own shit, and that's what we knew from the beginning. And I would actually say, like Co-Flow and what LP was doing with that was he's like independent as fuck, and we had the same thing, but we weren't trying to be like, we weren't New York, we were all over the goddamn country. So like we wanted to do our own hip hop shit, but that's the same kind of like I would say mantra was like, fuck these motherfuckers with money. Like we can do our own shit. And no one can tell us what to do, and we're going to do it. And it doesn't really matter. Like we're not worried about getting signed to MGM or whatever and blowing up, because as soon as you blow up, you fall the fuck off. Yeah. If you keep your shit consistent, you'll be consistent. You'll and that was it. It was just like,
and you've had some huge success.
Well, it's
with,
not
with
even
some
that.
of your music though too. That's underground too. That you would never probably
Huge.
think that was huge. You were in Crank 2. You're in the movie Crank 2. You got a song.
well, that's because Mike Patton reached out to us because we were on that tip.
That's
were on
amazing.
That fucking indie tip.
That's amazing.
And Mike hit me up, and he was doing the whole soundtrack for Crank 2, so he wanted to remix My Sweet Cream in it, and he did it. And then what's really funny about that is like that was Corey Haim. My older sister, she's 3 years older than me. She used to have a poster of Corey Haim on the wall.
Everyone loved that kid. Yeah. that
When
kid
I was like
huge.
9, she was like 12 or whatever, my numbers. But still, he was in that movie, and that was the last movie he did before he died. Plus, that movie is a piece of shit. It's entertaining, but it's so homophobic. It's so fucking racist. And I was like, God damn. And I was like, of course, that's what Mike Patton wants to do. But it was Mike Patton from fucking,
Yeah,
from
of course.
Fake No More, Mr. Bungle. Like, people that know that I know him, they're like, what's he like? I'm like, you don't want to meet my man. He's cool.
You don't wanna
like,
meet my
like it's
man.
all good, dude. Like whatever. I'm like, that's my main residual that comes in for royalties is the Crank 2 shit still.
And that shit
And I
probably
got
gets
shit
played
on
on
the TV.
Bravo and all
Sure.
over TV channels right now. Everywhere. It's probably everywhere still.
I mean, I was lucky enough to get my publishing when I was fucking like 2002 when I was with Mush Records, like while we were doing Anticon, and the dude that ran Mush Records, and the only accolades I'll give to Robert Curcio, I'm gonna say his fucking name, is that he told me to get my publishing, and I got my publishing. So now, like anything I put out, I register it and I get my fucking royalties for it. Man, that's what artists need to do. Like, don't think you're gonna fucking blow up. If you don't own your own publishing, you're fucked.
When
Everybody's taking your money.
when a
man.
regular artist makes a song and I say I made it myself and I put it up, I still don't own it. I gotta do something more.
Well, it just depends
No, because
on
regular
who the
people don't
label
know.
is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if I put a song out and I put it on YouTube, I gotta do more to do something to it to keep it, or somebody can come
Oh,
and take
there's all
that shit.
kinds of digital shit now, but like I did this shit on paperwork back in the day,
Yeah.
in like 2002, like or 3 or whatever the fuck it happened. But I asked them to send me paperwork. I filled it out. I sent it back. I gave them $300, and now anything I register with them, I get paid royalties. But I'm also with Alpha Pup with Daddy Kev, so like he does my digital shit, or Alpha Pup does now. But anyway, so I figured that shit out like maybe 8 years ago, where like there's digital, there's streaming, there's all that shit. So I get my royalties off of my streaming and shit. But I also, if I have movies, if I have TV shows, like the shit that I did with Serengeti and Ad Nostam, like it's in the very first 2 episodes of The Bear. So like I get money from that.
Yeah.
We got crazy money for that because like they were Chicago centric and they wanted the Serengeti shit. So like,
And that shit went fire.
we made sure the 3 of us, me, Serengeti and Ad Nostam, all figured out like, okay, we're gonna split this properly. And we get our residuals because we did it without somebody at a record label telling us that they're going to take it all and give us a little pinch of it. No, we took it all. It was our shit.
That the bear shit, that was like the cooking show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
making sure, just for people out there that never seen it.
Blowing
Yeah,
up.
it had what's his name in it from Shameless and shit. Shit was like blowing up, so that's gigantic, bro.
I mean, it still is. They're going.
No,
into
it's still
their
it's
4th
huge.
Yeah.
And,
they're on
and
season
the
2
more
now.
seasons they got, the more money that comes to me because our money. Our music. Me, Serengeti and Odd Nose Time. Our music is on those first 2 episodes.
And that's
so it doesn't
amazing.
matter. We own our shit. No one's taking our shit. That's the
sick.
point.
Yeah, there's a little bit of feedback, JEL. I think it's on your end, just to point that out. But I want to go back to your earlier years. You grew up playing the cornet, and how did you go from playing the cornet, dropping that, finding the SP, falling in love with the drum machine, and dropping out of school in '96 to pursue this musical career?
Well, I'll make that factoid a little shorter.
Yeah.
Like I always wanted to play the drums, and when I was in 7th grade, the quarterback from our local junior high school got the drum position. I was just wanting to play drums. I was banging on pots and pans in my mom's kitchen.
Hell yeah.
Before I even found hip hop, I wanted to be a drummer. But anyway, my next door neighbors had a cornet, and they're like, "You could join the music class because you want to do music. You can borrow our cornet, which is a short trumpet."
Yeah.
The first class I took at my school in 7th grade, they wanted me to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I couldn't do it. So I'm like, fuck that. And then I figured out I like hip hop music. I want to DJ. How does hip hop? How does the music work? So I thought I bought some Gemini belt drives from Upstairs Records out of New York and got them shipped to the house like when I was probably like 13. It was like a Christmas gift. It's probably like $250 or some shit like that. So I learned as I started getting records, and I started learning how to blend and how to scratch and all that. But then I got a sampler, and then from that sampler, my mom used to work at a Service Merchandise, which was like a department store, but they had electronics. So she'd bring keyboards home. So I started doing that shit. And then when I met Kevin Beecham from Rhymesayers now, but back then he was Rage Productions when I was like 14. He showed me how to work an SP1200, and I was like, oh, that's how all these beats are made. From there, I learned on the SP12, the first 12, and then I saved up working at a gas station to buy, instead of a car, when I was 15 or 16, I bought an SP1200. The one I just showed y'all.
Yeah.
I bought that motherfucker.
Crazy.
And then I just sat in my room and made beats. And then everybody in Lake County, Illinois, like the next county up from Chicago, like all the rappers wanted my beats. And then from there, I just met everybody. Like, I just kept doing it. So about 13, 14 years old, I found that I'm going to make beats, and I love hip hop music. So that's pretty much how it all turned out, and I'm still doing it. So
that's dope that you still have that motherfucker right next to you. You got a name for that motherfucker or no? I know you do.
My SP1200. No,
I know you got a name. Come on.
I don't feminize it or masculine it.
I like that.
Yo, when did you first cross paths with Doseone and create this idea for Anticon that would come to be Anticon at least? I mean, you guys are amazing together. Probably the most unique hip hop duo I've ever heard. Themselves. I mean, no one is more unique than themselves. When did you first meet Doseone and start making music with Dose?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I was going down to Cincinnati after the first Scribble Jam that happened, and I met Dibbs. And Dibbs hit me up while we were working on that project, the Alias project. He was like, I met this rapper. I went to a DJ Shadow Lyrics show in Cincinnati. So it was Latif, the truth speaker, and Lyric Born and Shadow. They were doing a show in Cincinnati at whatever club that was. And Dose was there, and he was backstage in like a full fucking like orange camouflage bodysuit as a rapper, and he was freestyling with Lyrics Born and Latif, and Dibbs was present, and he saw that, and he was like, "This dude's fucking nasty." He was talking about this Illuminati weird fucking secret society shit. We got to get him on the record, because at that point, me and Dibbs were working on Presage. We were talking about doing the Presage album. Yeah. So he's like, "You got to meet this dude Dose." So the next time I went down, Dibbs brought me to his to Adam Dose's dormitory, because he was at UC Cincinnati, and we met him and Leah Lioness, who's another like rapper,
very talented.
That Dose was with, and he was already working with J. Rawls and the 5Ds, and and Pace Rock from fucking Spank Rock, and like all those Cincinnati cats were there. But this was before all that shit happened, so we were all kicking it. So I met Dose one night in his dorm. And that night we went to Dibbs' house, and we did the verse for the Presage album. And that's when, after that, me and Dose were like, let's do a fucking album. So I kept coming back to Cincinnati, and then that's how we started Themselves. It was pretty much through Dibbs introducing us.
Yeah. What made you guys click right away? What was it about you and Dose that clicked so well?
Well, we just clicked, but he had this weird shit, because Dose is a weirdo. I mean, I love him. That's my motherfucking. But like, he was like, I had a dream about meeting you. It was like deja vu. Wow. And he was like, we were on this porch, and I met you, and we were gonna do this. And I was like, that's crazy. Let's just work on some music, But since then, we've been. That's my like my main friend forever and ever and ever. We call each other at least, every other week, but we keep up with each other, and we've done so much touring, 15, 20 years of touring through themselves, 13. I mean, the early Anticon shit, Green Think, all that. But then we did a lot of touring with like the band Subtle, a 6-piece that we had that was on Lex Records. And then fucking 13 and God, when we finally like linked up with the No Twist cats, and then we did that album, and you know, like, yeah, he's just been. We just met, and we never stopped.
Yeah, you never stopped doing it.
Them is now the debut album. Them is now 25 years old as well. I mean, quarter of a century, a classic. You know?
No, that was. I mean, for us when we were doing it, it was crazy. We were just like, damn, we're doing some weird shit. And like, even G Fresh, the homie that was recording it. It was Dibbs' homie. He was like, "This is some weird shit. No one likes this." But all the 5Ds, like all the Cincinnati cats were like that shit's dope. Like, holy shit, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Now we got a little griff from like Quali because he was there working with fucking High Tech back in the day. He called Doseone homosexual and weird shit. But that was that shit back in the day.
Right.
Like, no Quali, don't give a fuck about him no more. He's fine.
When we talked to Dose, I told that fool, I go, if this don't go for you any further, I mean, you could always make a Spanish album. He sounds like a South Park Mexican. He could turn around and make a straight Mexican rap
like,
album.
People always thought he was like, they thought he was like a 3-foot tall Filipino.
I'm telling you, bro. I thought he was 5'5", brown with the fucking brown do-rag hanging out of his pocket. You know, I thought he was.
He's an Irish and Jewish dude from Philly.
He sounds like a legit South Park Mexican rapper. I go, this fool has a career doing Vato Loco rap if this shit goes south for him. Like, he's in the zone down there.
He could have done it, but he decided to start singing.
That's tight, though. You feel it. I know you feel it. Like I feel it. You heard it.
When you're creating music with Doseone, I mean, what is that creative process like? Are you just introducing them to a bunch of different beats and instrumentals that you've already created? Are you making stuff on the fly and he's like rapping to it as you guys are going, or what's that creative process like?
Hell yeah.
Well, when we used to live close to each other, I would go to his house and we would work shit out. Like we'd start from scratch. But like now that he's in Santa Fe and I'm still in Oakland, like I just send the beats and he, like I think we're a little. We both know what the fuck we know we can do with each other at this point. But yeah, we used to be like really creative with each other because I would sit down and map out drops and like full songs with him from first word to last word. Now I just send him beats and we just got it. I don't know. It's been a very natural progression. Like we just work together well. Yeah. I just think that's the way it goes. You know, like, but we started off chunking it out, and then now it's just like, oh, I can send Dose a beat and he'll fucking kill it, and then I'll do some drops and he'll fix some shit, and like, yeah, we just know each other's ear. It's just the way it goes. Like,
yeah. Yo, the Free Houdini album that was put out in 2009, 15 years ago. One of my favorite themselves albums. I mean, so good from top to bottom. A lot of features involved with it as well. What was the reasoning for putting that album out as a free download?
Well, we realized that it most likely was going to be our last themselves venture because we had 13 and God and we were closing up Subtle. Two bands that we both are in, and it was still JEL and Dose, but we had a lot of the players in it. We're like, all right, when we did Crowns Down, the last album, we're like, let's just reach back out to the community, like actually the underground cats, like that. Like I'm like everybody that was on that album were people like from Bus Driver, Slug, Soul. I mean, like. So many other cats are on there, like we just were like, let's just do some just straight rap shit. Like, let's do some straight rap shit. Even though it wasn't straight rap shit, it was still weird, but it was also just like, no, just verses. Yeah, just get everybody to come and drop a fucking verse, and that's our mixtape. Because we'd always have people that we'd ask other artists like TV on the Radio or the No Twist or fucking like Wolf Parade, whoever the fuck we ever toured with. We're like, yo, do a remix for our remix album, and we put that up. This was like kind of bringing it back to like the cats that we came up with and the MCs that we respected, you know. Like I wish we could have got a lot more people on the Free Houdini, but we got the people that we came up with. It was you know, it's especially like from the Rhyme Sayers crew and and everybody else was on that shit. Like we did a lot of shows together. We did a lot of fucking sleeping on fucking floors and shit together. So like that was
to this single day right now. What do you think your most proudest achievement is that you've produced?
Really?
I got it. Just between me and you. I got you here. It's just me and you. What's your favorite thing you've ever done?
There's so many.
I know there's so many, but let's just level it down to whatever you feel like. The first thing you thought of. I know you got. I seen you. The first thing I said. It's in your head already.
I got it. I know exactly what it is. It is actually. And I'll tell you a short story about it, but it's the DJ Crush Zen Approach remix I did with Black Thought.
Fuck yeah.
In 2000. Because I that shit was all on the SP 1200, that the machine. And when Crush contacted me, and that's the reason why we went to Japan like 5-7 times, because we were down with DJ Crush, and it's like, what? Yeah, fucking DJ Crush? Like, you fucking kid? Like, but so Crush asked me to do this remix with Black Thought on it. I never met Black Thought. I'm sure he's heard this remix, and then Crush put it out years later. But that song I did, and when I met Crush in Japan a year after I'd done it, his whole entourage came up, because he always, like, he doesn't speak English too well. He's, straight Yakuza Japanese motherfucker. But I just remember the dude coming up, and his liaison was like, he's like, Crush wants to say to you, the drums. I was like, yeah, that's a Young Holt Unlimited break. Like, that's the break that everybody's used, but I just chopped them to shit. And I fucking made my own pattern on him. He's like, oh, it's fucking amazing. And I was like, wow. But that shit, like, when that came out, we were doing CMJ. We were doing an Anticon showcase in New York. And that was September 10th, 2001. So when we got there, we did one show, and then the planes hit the buildings. So we were stuck. I was supposed to go to Sony Records in Manhattan to solidify that it's going to be a white label, 12-inch that came out. And industry shut down because, we got whatever happened with 9/11. That's what fucking happened. So
it's crazy.
That one right there, like, that's still, when I listen to it, I'm like, God damn, that shit is fucking banging. And like, I put work into that motherfucker, and it just, like, it got lost because America got hit with some fucking its own airplanes, like, whatever the fuck. That's
crazy.
You got a wild story for that motherfucker. That's crazy.
Before we go any further, and you take this how you want, 9/11, inside job or not inside job?
Son of a bitch.
Just real quick. We don't need to dive into it.
I don't give a fuck. When I was there, Seoul, so we all stayed in the same bedroom in Queens. It was a motel. I can't remember the fucking name of the motel. Who cares? But like, so Seoul was gonna go pick up Pedestrian in Jersey because he was flying in to do these CMJ shows.
Yeah.
And he left, and he's like, I'm waking up. I'm going to pick up. I'm doing Seoul, Tim. He's like, I'm going to pick up Pedestrian. And we're like, all right, dude, see you later. So he left. 15 minutes later, he kicks the fucking door in, and we all wake up like, what? And he's like, we're under attack. And he turns the TV on, and we see the tower smoking. And then he pulls the shades on the window, and we're looking directly. Our room in Queens was looking directly at Manhattan. And we saw the tower burning.
Wow.
And I was like, what the fuck? And we were locked down there for 3 days.
That's crazy.
So, like, yeah. I can't remember the question you asked, but I just did that
Inside
story.
job or not inside job?
Inside job or not?
So what I'm saying is, like, when I was there, I was like, inside job, because I was already on that fucking Presage show.
Right.
I was already on that. Yeah. What the fuck is going on? We did a show 3 days later when we can get the fuck out of Queens. We went across the Washington Bridge, and we did a show at a college in Pennsylvania, and it was like a bunch of shitty freshmen, white kids, whatever the fuck. I'm white, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like some privileged ass kids. They didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was like storming, raining, and shit like that. And we're like, we were with Circus and AWOL. We were with the fucking Shapeshifter dudes. Like, we were all like thinking the world's about to end, And then these kids didn't give a fuck. But then we went after that. We were like, this is fucked up. Like, these people don't even know, and not 45 minutes away, that America just got hit on a big level. We go to fucking Baltimore, and there were already T-shirts in shops saying with Osama bin Laden's face on them saying, "Kill the fucker."
Wow.
And we were like, "What?"
Damn.
Like 3 days after, like, I was like, "Inside motherfucking job."
The shirts were made already ahead of time.
How the fuck did they know this shit?
Yeah.
How the fuck did they know this shit that quick? Like
that's crazy.
That's a setup. That's the motherfucking setup. But to this day, I don't say inside job. I just say, yeah, the government's always gonna fuck you over. It don't matter.
I mean,
I think that's where I am as I've gotten older. Obviously, when I'm younger, I was in high school. I think I was a sophomore when it happened, and it was full inside job, and that's all I cared about. But as I've gotten older, it's more like thoughts and prayers, because we really lost, over 2,000 people in those buildings. And
just in the
buildings
alone.
It was a real thing that we lost.
That so many people died, but this whole country,
right?
Oh, for sure.
From the bicentennial is an inside job. Lorenz Tate, man, O-Dog, like, he's like, when he went in, he's like, he's like, I feel sorry for your mother. He's like,
what'd you say about my mama? Yeah, too good.
Of course, a brutal. He murdered the guy, but still, it's like.
But he shouldn't have lied to him. He had the money in his fucking socks. That son of a bitch. He could have gave him the cash.
Oh, okay. We get
inside job
in society.
But
I like Menace over.
Hell yeah.
Boys in the Hood is an amazing movie. Ice Cube, like, of course. Everybody else, but yeah, Menace was like a little bit it hit home with all my friends in high school.
Yeah,
we watched that more than we watched Boys in the Hood.
both are classics, man.
You fuck with Belly too, or what?
You know what? Belly's something I need to get back to. People are always like, you haven't seen it? I was like, I think I saw it once, but
Bro,
like, what?
So good, bro. Belly's hard, bro. Super, and the homie from Menace to Society's in it.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that tells on him. Super good.
Yo, North American Adonis, hip hop trio, you, Dose, and Buck 65. You guys just released the album. It's about to turn 1 year, but this was an album that was started 25 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. What was the motivation to come back and finish that album 25 years later?
Ooh.
Well, I think it was the fact that Dose started working with my homie Zach Hansmaid, who lives in Oakland, but I think he might have brought it up, and then we were like, I don't know. Like me, Rich, me, Buck, and Dose have always like stayed in contact with each other. We always, we did that album, and I accidentally erased one half of it, and it never really came out to fruition. But it just popped, and then when we decided let's do it, we did it. I sent Dose like fucking all the old beats that I still had off my SP, and then I just did like a 45-minute like linear fucking sample track, and Dose took all those and helped me make beats. Like pretty much I had the beats ready, but he just chunked them up for verses, and it just like we got that shit done really quick. I think we started in maybe like September of the year before, and then we finally finished in March of last year, and then we put it out really quick, and it did what it did. It was actually like the deluxe versions of them now with the instrumental vinyl are like $200 is fuck, because Zach the dude that put it out on Handsmade, he only did a limited edition, so like but it was like we understood that people were trading around like really shitty fucking tapes of our demos of that. And if we did a real thing, then all those people that were waiting for it would be down for it. And that's our fan base. And that's the people that really love and respect our music. So we're like, let's do it for them and us.
Yeah.
So that's why it happened.
It made me want more.
When a random MC decides to take one of your beats and rap on it, how do you go about, letting him do that? He just contacts you and says, I really got something going here. I really appreciate what you're doing and I want to use this. Or does that happen to you all the time, or how does that work?
No, people ask me, they'll hit me up and ask me if I could like give them something new or whatever. But like if someone jacks my shit, I'm usually at their house with a hammer.
Hell yeah, I like that.
I'm joking.
But if somebody's like,
for real, it's like if you're whack, then good. You ain't gonna sell shit. Thanks for fucking rapping horribly over my beat. But if you want to use the shit, then talk to me and I'll work it out. Like I'm not worried about fucking money. Like if you're dope, I'll do shit for free. It's all good.
But are they trying to pull that? It's a mixtape. I shouldn't pay you. Is that a thing? Like, because I hear that's a lot of motherfuckers trying to pull that. Like, is that?
Well, that's everybody. That's everybody.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
dude,
that's crazy though. Because you're working on my work right now. How do you feel about that?
I feel about it because the way I feel about it is like I'm my own manager. I'm my own fucking production company. Like I don't have people looking out for my money. So if I had people like that, they get stopped and they get a cease and desist, and they be, you got to pay my man this much to use that shit, and that could actually like stop someone who's really good doing something over my shit, and me getting. I just like that's the industry shit. Like I don't want to play industry games. I like making good music with people.
You're a good man.
And if people beats and they're dope and they're scrounging like me when I was that young, then all good. Let's do that shit. You know, like I like fucking with underdogs. I don't give a fuck if you got money. I don't give a fuck if you're pretty. Like whatever.
That's word up to the real MCs out there that listen to us. Just want to make sure that they know what the fuck's going on. Because some people are confused. They don't know where to go. You know what I mean? So you give an outlet to those people. A lot of folks
think that you're gonna make music off of fucking hip hop or the music or electronic music or whatever. You put it up and you're gonna be famous. It's like that's not, dude. You don't even know the fucking game. Just fucking do music.
Yeah.
Just do music. Like for your soul and for people's souls. Like don't do it for monetary. Don't do it for fame. Because as soon as you start doing that, you're a sucker. And you're gonna you're gonna be shown as a sucker. Like for real.
I think, and as like hip hop fans that we are, especially growing up, going to hip hop shows and being fans of a lot of local hip hop artists, it was really tough for us to translate that message to other people that aren't really underground heads. Like, hey, these dudes, if they wanted to, could probably be a top 40 artist, but they're in their own lane doing their own thing.
Yeah,
and
they
they're
don't care about that shit.
perfectly healthy, perfectly happy with doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel the pressure? Did you ever feel that pressure to switch it up? Did you ever feel the pressure to switch it up and start making more of a trendy sound or more of a mainstream friendly sound or something that
appeasing the ears?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where, because you talked about doing weird stuff, but
when I was with Mush, he wanted me to make like garage breakbeat music, and I was like, "What the fuck is garage breakbeat music? I just do hip hop beats." So I tried it; it didn't work. Who gives a shit? But there's also like what popped into my mind when you said that was like Mikey Larson idea, for instance. Like he fucking became the Blaze Battle champion, and Karis One gave him fucking props. Puffy fucking asked him for a deal. He's like, "Fuck that! I want to do my shit." And I knew Mikey when he was 15 in Max abilities. Like they were the little shorties down with Rhyme Stairs. They were the homies. We went on tour together and shit like that. And Mike, in essence, idea was like, no, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and fuck that. Like I don't give a fuck about fame. I already know I could serve everybody. It don't matter. I want to do something different. So like that's he came up underneath like a lot of folks that were doing the same thing with the same mentality, but he kept strong with his shit. He didn't back down. He didn't sign a goddamn deal and turn into fucking Macklemore. No disrespect to Macklemore, but you know what I'm saying? He didn't turn into the new Eminem white boy rapper that everybody wanted him to do. He was like, no, I'm going to do my shit.
He was one of the ones in the underground that was actually given that opportunity and turned it down and was like, no. Because a lot of people talk about it, but they don't actually get the opportunity to actually turn it down. And once he did, he actually did turn it down. Said, fuck your jacket, fuck your label. And most kids that start
rapping, they're like, I couldn't wait for Suge Knight to fucking show up on my doorstep. Like, you're crazy, motherfucker. Like, you don't want Suge Knight to show up on your doorstep. You don't want any of these dudes because they're gonna fucking own you. Like you can't be creative anymore. You gotta as long as you understand that, like, if you control your own shit, you can be as creative as possible. If you don't control your shit, you got to do what motherfuckers tell you what to do. So like that's the demise of the record label industry, which has been the beginning since the fucking 40s, 50s. Like really of music, putting out music for monetary value. In my opinion, I'm going to go on some shit right here. Is like every single human being on this planet has the capability of making amazing music. We all have the talent to do it. But when you think that someone's going to pay you and make you famous for it, you're selling yourself short. Right. Like some people are like, oh, I can't sing, I suck. I'm like, you can. You just don't. You don't have the drive to do it. You think that you need to get money for it, but like just do it for healing. Do it for your own self. Like.
I'm gonna start singing tonight now.
Yeah, the $1
million singing tonight. He told me, I told you I could sing. You motherfuckers always hating on my singing. Nah, fuck that.
Let my man sing.
Tonight I sing tonight.
He got a good voice, I'm sure.
I'm telling you,
the $1 million voice is in the eye of the beholder, basically.
The songbird of our generation.
It might not make you $1 million, but what it does to your healing process or to the mind, it might be something a lot more valuable than the money that you.
I just thought about this fool being sick in the hospital, and I come sing, and he gets healed out of
Exactly.
nowhere. Everyone's like, "How
What
the
are we
fuck did this
talking
happen?
about?
This man
That
sings."
shit does work like that. Like you
telling you.
can heal somebody with frequencies, and if you sing to them and it hits them the right way.
Hey, listen,
For centuries,
Listen,
bro. For
Joe.
centuries, it's been happening.
real talk. If this man gets sick and his family's telling me get the fuck out of here because I'm singing, and he heals,
You better go sing. You better go sing to his ass.
I'm gonna get a hold of you real quick and be like, I saved this man through the power of singing.
Yo, you mentioned 13 and God and Subtle too. Awesome projects that you're heavily involved with. I don't want to dampen the mood at all, but Dax Pierson, big part of both groups. Mm-hmm. There was a major car accident, van accident, I guess, that happened on tour. Were you there in the van? And if so, what do you recall? What was that situation like, man?
Yes, I was. We were on a solo tour. We were leaving Denver, Colorado, going to Des Moines. We were actually going to Minneapolis at the point. We were going to do a Minneapolis show, but we ran through Omaha and we got to Des Moines, and then we hit black ice and then flipped.
It's crazy.
I was sitting right behind Dax. Dose was sitting next to me. I ain't gonna do the whole breakdown, but when we flipped, it was in a 15-passenger church kind of van. All the windows blew out. Our computers are like 15 feet away from the fucking car. It felt slow motion because I was the only one that was awake because I was playing video games and everybody's passed out. Besides the driver, he was awake and sober. Yeah. But we slowly started sliding, and then we fell into a ditch and then flipped over, and then boom, everything was like black. Yeah. And and Dax, unfortunately, he was in a malfunctioning seat that he unlatched from the bottom, and the whole weight of the van. His head hit the top of the van upside down, so it shattered his third vertebrae. Yeah, which made him paraplegic. For life. He's and love you, Dax. He's still around, and he's going to be a part of this 13 and God shit. But that's happening in Munich next week.
Hell
but
yeah.
He can't travel, so he's recording some shit we're play over the top of.
That's amazing. Amazing that Dax had to go through that and just the outcome and the faulty seat. And, I know he sued Ford Motors and, won, but still, to be left with a lifelong injury like that,
still ain't enough.
It's not enough to repay for what that man's gone through. So, horrible situation. Let's talk a little bit about the 13 and God. Is it only one show that I know it's on December 7th in Germany? Is that the only show you guys have set in stone right now?
Yeah, it's the only one. We're not planning on doing a tour or multiple. This one show because the No Twist throw they have a record label called Alien Transistor that Marcus Auker from the No Twist has had for many years now, and we've been trying to do this for the past 4 or 5 years. But because of the Russian invasion to Ukraine and Germany's whatever, they were getting funding. So we had to cancel the past 2 years, 3 years. Damn. So now it's actually happening. So it's on and we're going to do it.
That's awesome.
But it's just a one-off. And it's we haven't played, I think, in 10 years. So it's definitely going to be a really good family reunion for all of us to get back together because we toured through the United States. We went to Japan. We toured all over Europe with this band. Mm-hmm. So it's
Anticon and just 13 and God and Subtle and all your other projects. Have gotten great recognition overseas and in Europe. What is that scene like out there compared to out here in America, and how are you guys received by everybody? What's the hip hop scene like compared to out here?
Oh, I haven't been out there in so long, but back then it was building, and this. It's I'm sure it's gonna be an eye opener now when I go back out and be like, oh fuck, now everybody doesn't sound like fucking Cool G rap,
right?
In Munich, because when we were out there, it was all this hardcore New York shit, but they were all kind of fascist Germans doing fucking anyway. I'm getting political with it, but then it was just the style wise. I'm sure the style has changed, and all these kids are now doing Kendrick Lamar, or they're doing whatever's fucking hot in the U.S. Or they're doing their own shit. But with the No Twist dudes, it's totally different. It's independent music. This is kind of a world festival. They got people from Africa, they got people from from Indonesia, China, fucking Japan, like all over the United States. Like it's kind of a world thing with this festival with Alien Disco, the name of the festival.
Alien Disco coming up December 7th.
Yeah, so like I don't know. Like I'm not worried about meeting any hip hop dudes out there, but I'm sure I will. And I'm sure I'll be fucking enlightened and also sparked on meeting like the new cats that are coming up out there, or just old cats that are still doing this shit. It's like, I don't know.
Hip hop's just worldwide, man.
Europe embraces hip hop way better than any city in this country of America. Like I mean, because everybody in America, they want, like, oh, this is Memphis shit. Oh, this is fucking San Francisco shit. This is LA shit. This is Saskatoon shit. Like, I just threw that one out there. But, shout out to fucking Factor.
Factor
but,
I was just saying the same thing. Shout out Factor.
Tell them.
I'm just saying, like we're we hold that shit too close. But over there, they really respect it. They love the fact that they appreciate American hip hop, and they try to do their best, and it's actually it comes off a little more honest and a little more like they really love the craft of making music in that form, instead of trying to do the next motherfucker shit so they can get put on in some other way.
There's definitely a culture shock going from America to Europe. What was that like growing up in the Midwest and then coming over to the West Coast and coming to the Bay Area specifically, where it's, I mean,
completely
the Bay Area has it's its own world, kind of, it has its own language, its own art, its own everything. Like, everything in the Bay is completely different than anything else in the world. What was it like coming from the Midwest to the Bay Area, the culture shock there, especially at a young age? How old were you? You were 19 when you moved over here?
Yeah, I moved. Well, I was 21 when I finally moved. I've been to the Bay. We did a Presage show. Me, Doseone, and Dibbs. I think a year before I moved out. But I moved out with Mood Swing 9, who was Soul's first producer from Live Poets. Yeah, he drove me out, and I moved in with him off of Lake Merritt, right by the Oakland. So I've been in Oakland since '99, and the Bay, definitely, I understood a little bit. Like DJ Steph, rest in peace. She's the one that pretty much like brought us into the fold and told everybody, like, they're not just rich white kids. They're actually poor white kids that want to do hip hop, like blah, 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 all of that. But like, I learned, like, I met all the Hyro cats. I met a lot of Hobo Junction cats, like Digital Underground cats, like. It's just living here in the town of Oakland and going to San Francisco. Like, this is back when Gavin was going on. Like, that's the industry shit in San Francisco. But I mean, I love Oakland, man. I love the Bay. It's. I came from Chicago and I had a Midwestern mentality, and then I realized, like, holy shit, this shit's dope. It's just the same when it comes down to, like, you don't fuck with people because you can get fucked with.
Respect,
you be open arms to people, and you're gonna get love back, and that's what I found out here. Like just recently, for the first time, which is another big one for me, was like, I've been hanging out with an artist named Mars Kumari. She's from Antioch, which is like a couple hours away, but she was down with Bruiser Brigade. She was down with Danny Brown's shit. She does beats. She does her own instrumental stuff, but she brought me over to Dell's house like a month and a half ago because he does the Manic Monday shit. And I got to meet Dell for the third or fourth time, but I was in his crib. I was like in his bedroom. He got bunk beds and shit. Sick. And he had all the Hobo and a lot of his old Hyro cats. Not the Social Mischief cats, but like OGs, like motherfuckers that can rap. Yeah. And if you guys haven't been privy to the Manic Monday shit, like they put shit out every week, and it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard. Like Dell's new little side project, which is pretty much just putting out free music on YouTube. I got to just kick it with him, and the Bay always gives you a gift. If you stick around here long enough, you're gonna fucking. I mean, and I feel like I'm more California than I am Illinois anymore, because I lived in California since I was 21. Now I'm 46, so I've lived in the Bay longer than I grew up in Illinois. So I'm still Midwestern to the core. I mean, my mom and dad are both from Detroit, so I'm Detroit and Chicago, but I'm Oakland. I'm Oakland after that, definitely.
Getting that love from someone like Del, what was it like in the early days, in the young days of Anticon? What was the reception like from groups like Hieroglyphics or Living Legends or Board Stiff, all those Bay Area cats? What was the reception like?
Well, I lived down the block from fucking what's my man's from Board Stiff? Shit, Equipto, yeah. He stayed with the homie who was like fucking, who was god damn it. My brain's a little short right now, but we lived down the block from each other and we'd see each other around. Everybody was like, we were doing shows like from Kirby Dominant to fucking just all the little Oaktown like rappers and freestylers and shit. It wasn't any gangster shit. It was just like the weird nerd shit, but we all hung out. So like we didn't get we got props from homies when we met them, but when Soul did the fucking LP shit, which we don't have to get into, that kind of skewed a lot of motherfuckers on our end, because they were like, oh, LP's dissing these cats. I mean, Del even dissed us on the radio. He didn't know who the fuck he was talking about. But he's like, I heard these guys trying to advance hip hop. You can't advance hip hop. And I was like, oh man, for real. Yeah. But that's like, Del probably won't even, if I bring that up, people are like, oh yeah, whatever, homie, it's all good. I don't even remember that shit. Like, it's whatever. Yeah. But like, I think we forged enough here that we got respect, even over that petty beef shit that happened over some ego tripping shit, that we all got involved in. But it never made me want to leave the Bay, And me and No Time are the only ones that are still here. Everybody else like moved on in my life, went back home or went somewhere else. Not because of that shit. Just that's the way their life led them. But yeah, No Time lives in Berkeley. Bitch ass motherfucker. I love Dave, but I'm like, I'm in Oakland still, bro. You up in
O-Town, still holding it down.
Yeah, Nose Dom has also had a lot of success, man, as a producer.
Yeah, well,
very talented.
And it's very, very admirable that you guys stuck it out, like you said. Like, whatever it was like you felt the love here, and you seen the art here, and you realized the beauty of being here, and you stuck it out through all that hardship. So it's
yeah. I got so many homies and friends from being in the Bay for so long. Yeah. Like so many crews. It's all good. Yeah. People still hit me up. I'm like, yo, you want to do it? Like, I got a show down the street. You want to come play? I'm like, yeah, I'll do it for free. Who gives a fuck? Just give me some free beers. I'll go rock out. And it's just hometown love at this point.
Hell yeah, dude! As we're winding down here, you put out it was a short EP of only 4 tracks with Mugs and Pockets. I mean, shout out Swamburger, Soliloquist of Sound.
Tell him.
So dope, dude. And those guys were awesome. I wish there was more Soliloquist albums coming out.
Dude,
but
so good.
I mean, that EP is great. Is there more music to come in the future, or was it just like a little EP type experimental thing that you guys put together?
Yeah, I got a feeling that we're gonna definitely have more. We have a lot of shit in the works, but that happened. And like that, we did that shit like really quickly, and it's because I just relinked with Swam. I've known Swam for many years, like because he went to the same engineering school as I did in Chicago for sound and shit like that, but I didn't really know him there. I just recognized his face. And I was also at Northwestern University. I didn't go to that motherfucking school, but I was doing the radio show with Kevin Beach on time travel because he found himself in there. So I met like Special Ed, J. Root the Damager, fucking Melly Mel. I met all these cats because he had a hip hop show there. So like everybody would gravitate towards that radio show. And then I did a song with Swam for like The Fifth Element for when Kevin was working, when he first started working for Rhymesayers. I did like a Rhymesayers compilation. That's when I met Swam, and then we did shows with Soliloquist. And then Swam hit me up like 2 years ago, like, hey, I'm in Seattle. Let's work on some shit. And then we just started building. And that's how I just sent him 4 beats, and him and Scar did that shit.
Yeah.
And we mixed it at my homie Mikey's spot, and we put it out, and like it didn't do anything monetarily. We didn't have enough push for it, but it's still just like a cool little thing that we did, which is it's still new. It's young. It's it's only a year and a half old or something like that. So
Dude.
But Swam's a fucking monster. That motherfucker. And Scarlet Monk,
Yeah.
like she's nasty as well, dude.
They're
like,
so good together. It's almost like a reinvention of Soul Liquid's sound, those two, and just the style they bring, the sound they bring together, and then them on top of your beats. I mean, even better. Super.
Yeah,
dope.
I mean, when I sent those beats, and then when Swam sent his verse back, I was like, God damn, homie, that shit. Like, you were murdering this shit. And he was like, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I was like, no, for real, dude. Like, you got your chops are up, dude. Like you haven't. You've gotten better over the years. I'm just gonna say that. Not that you were whack back in the day, but like you fucking brought your skill up, like for real, like yeah.
It's crazy. I remember hearing Soliloquist of Sound when me and you went to a show. Fucking, we were like 14 or 15, and it's back when you couldn't just get on your phone and be like, well, how do I find these motherfuckers? Like,
That was a cool thing.
They were Florida. They toured with Sage. They were down.
Yeah.
Bro, when I saw her sing and she was bald and the whole fucking crowd was in it, I go, holy fuck, who is this girl, dude?
Yeah,
Holy
not the same,
fuck.
not Scar, but the Soliloquist girls are they're different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scar,
but when we seen him, I was just like, holy, blown away. Totally blown away. So.
Well, it was one of those things when it was like you said, it was during that time where you couldn't just go on your
Can't
phone
just
and look people
pull
up.
it up, yeah, you
so
were
you would go to
amazed
these hip hop shows
for
and you see
years.
like openers and who we see Ugly Duckling.
Yeah,
and we were like,
Grade
who
School
are these
Ugly Duckling
motherfuckers,
slipped through the
dude?
fingers.
All of a sudden,
but
just
Ugly Duckling, come on, they're kind of like underground classic dudes from like.
But you couldn't
SoCal.
find them though.
but we didn't
Yeah, you
know
couldn't
nothing about
find
them,
that.
and they came up to NorCal on what was that on a
like a 2003 tour,
Grouch and Eli tour or
you
something.
couldn't just pull your phone up and just
we
be
saw
like,
these
who is
fools
this?
and we were like, well, where did these motherfuckers? It was a lot of that during that time. It was a revolution of
And nobody had computers in their pockets like now. The phone text and it called. That was it. Now you could do anything. You couldn't.
Back then,
find
it was
that.
all tape trading. It was trading tapes. and fucking,
exactly.
actually, it was message boards. Like you talk
Yep.
about like, yo, give me your address. I'll
Yep.
send you a tape.
Where are you
Instead of,
at?
like,
We're gonna be
text me
here. Yep.
and shit. Yeah.
Nowadays, what is the best way that people listening to this can find you and support you
Yep.
and make sure the money goes straight to your pocket and listen to your music and all the projects? Because you got so much going on at all times, producing wise. What's the best way that people can listen to that and support you and continue the evolution of JEL?
Well, I mean, my main outlet for all of my music is my Bandcamp at this point. Pretty much. I mean, since that's kind of it. I put everything up on that, but I don't have the Mugs and Pockets and JEL thing on there. So like, go to the Higher Ups, which is Self Jupiter's label. That's what we put that out on. Like, I don't know. Go listen to Lucy Ford. I got beats on the Rhyme Stairs, the Atmosphere album. Like whatever. But like, if you want to find JEL, just go to my Bandcamp. I got all of my music up there. You can download it for free, or you kick me some money and support. It's all good. Like, I'm not trying to gouge motherfuckers, and I'm not trying to boost my shit either. Like,
we're gonna have those links. We'll have the links in the bio beneath right here.
That will work for free.
Peace
Shit's
out.
hard as fuck too. Just to let you know.
Yeah, and thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. I've had it. I forgot. I can't remember the name, but people want me to like. I've had people ask me to put that out on vinyl, and I'm like, that was my last straw when I was living in Temecula. Long story short, during pandemic, and I was like, I haven't put shit out in a year, so I just had all these beats that was gonna be for something, but I was like, I'm just gonna chop them up and put them out the way to work, but work for free. I was like, damn, that was a lot of shit that I wanted to work with other artists, but I was like, I'm just putting this shit out.
When you put shit on vinyl, is it a risk? I mean, like you put money, you're pretty much putting money into getting vinyl and hoping that they all sell. I mean, like I feel like that'd be a risk. I feel like what you're doing is a smart move.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a risk unless you put too much fucking money into it. Like, you got to make your money back. So, like, if you break even, then it ain't a risk. It's actually just getting your vinyl out there.
Yeah.
Just like the North American Adonis thing. Like Zach from Handsmade, he put a lot of money into that shit, but he only did a limited amount, and he did very
smart
packaging, like really good packaging. So that means that's just like he was selling them for like 50 to 75 off the bat, but now they're going for like 250.
Well, everybody's satisfied with the package.
25 years in the making,
the package
man.
is satisfying. Yeah,
you can't get that.
And it's all
else.
like limited editions. So like you do niche shit now. Like you're like, okay, I put a fucking gummy bear in it that has the best fucking blue dream you ever had, and I don't know. I mean, it's just marketing. It's marketing shit. But like, if you oversaturate, you're spending too much money and you're not going to make any money back. If you put out a couple copies and it's really high quality, you're definitely going to make your money back in the long end. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to that. But it's all about putting out quality. So quality over quantity always, in my opinion.
While we still have you, who's your favorite fucking producer of all time?
Oh shit! I can't really say. I got a big list, but I came up on fucking the Shockley Brothers, Bomb Squad. I came up on Large Professor. I came up on like all the SP1200, Marley Marl, fucking shit. I mean, even Pete Rock to a distance, but Joe Quicks from the Bay, from Hayward. He did the Bum shit. Love Joe Quick shit. He only did a couple albums and a couple remixes, but there's just specific producers that I still listen to today in my car, and I still get inspiration from to make music. And those cats definitely, like, I mean, I would even say like Del and Domino, and like, I mean, I could just go down the fucking line with everybody from everywhere. Like, so many, like, when it comes down to top 10, top 5s, I'm like, fuck that shit.
I feel that.
Like
too many out there.
There's too many people to put into a box, man. Like everybody's uniquely amazing for their own reasons. So
yeah, we just spoke highly about Del.
I just mentioned those are the ones that really influenced me, definitely.
And my last question right here, you're not gonna hear nothing from me no more. For real, though, you're not gonna hear nothing from me no more.
You've been talking too much.
I know. Fire my ass. What's in the car right now? What are you bumping right now in the car? You get in the car, you start it up. We want to know. I'm gonna put it in the car after this. What are you bumping?
Well, I mean, I do have the North American Adonis cassette I do have a cassette deck in my Toyota.
Me too. Nice. Oh, I got a Highlander too, a Toyota with the cassette player. What year's yours? I got a 01.
Yeah, but dude, underneath my seats, I got Gangstar's Daily Operation.
Damn, we Highlander brothers. We Highlander brothers.
I got like 3 copies of X-Clan to the East Blackwares. I got all like Poor Righteous Teachers, first 2 albums. Like they're all stuck under my seat, but I pull them out when the radio sucks. Mm-hmm. When I can't listen to anything on the radio, I pop that shit in. Damn. So like, it's usually just what's in my car is like old hip hop. I got the first DOS Effects album, just ready to go. Whenever, I'm stuck there. No, I can't get out of it.
We tape player brothers. Same car, tape players. Shit, that's my boy right here.
Well, you said the books closed on themselves. I mean, you were heavily involved with A7PHA II, the second A7PHA album. Super dope. And then you put out the North American Adonis. I hope the book's not closed on you and Doseone making more music together, because it just makes me want more.
Not at all. Yeah, we're talking about doing the third A7PHA. Me and Mediocre are talking about. We've been talking about that for the past year, but I think the next A7PHA album with Mestizo and Dose is going to be me and Mediocre combining our forces to make beats for them. But I've also talked about doing solo shit with JJ, with fucking Mestizo, and also me and Dose have talked about doing another themselves thing. So like, it's just all the way.
Yeah, please drop that.
Yes, please do.
Yo, before we go, Joe, in a short summary, what does hip hop mean to you?
It was something I found through my mother. My mom put me on actually, and my cousin's in Detroit, but still, it's something that has pulled me to the future for fucking 30 years. Like, and I've never been able to let go of that hip hop rope. Like I've from my friends in like junior high and high school, we knew we were the shit, and that's some hip hop thing. Like we know we can do this, and we're gonna do it well. From there, I met a bunch of other people. It's my lifeline. Hip hop is my lifeline, and I can only hope that I contribute as much back to it as it's given me. For real, like straight up. Like I don't give a fuck about a corporate job. I don't give a fuck about church community or nothing like that. But like hip hop is I can get annoying if you want to really start talking about hip hop shit, and they're like, oh, you're really into this. I'm like, yeah, I only know this really. I know. Yeah. So like hip hop is my lifeline. That's in essence, that's it.
Hey, big ups, bro. You are hip hop, bro.
That's passion right
there.
there.
That's big respect, bro. You are.
And you've put your mark on hip hop history. I mean, you're a huge part of it.
1000%. We always talk about.
I greatly appreciate y'all saying that, because like I don't hear that too often. But and I don't need to hear that, because you always need to contribute to it. You don't need to be someone holding a torch for accolades, but I respect y'all for fucking doing this podcast, and also just keeping the love and the, like, you know, the whole community aware of what the fuck's still going on.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We really appreciate that. And yeah.
Don't stop doing what you're doing.
We appreciate the fact that you put together 30 years of quantity and quality. And also the mark that you've made is going to be something that when we talk about lasting forever, music is something that's going to be out there for forever. As long as the internet's alive, JEL will be alive, and that's something that's made you eternal. And in our mind, you're a motherfucking king out here.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, you're a king, dog. Real talk.
What I'm saying is, like, you know, it was mentioned in and it was a Dose line, but both Buck and Dose said it on it. It's like, my CDs will always be alive in the landfill.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
True that.
So that's this, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as we have electricity, you can't play a record player without electricity unless you got a fucking old phonograph that you can crank up. But like, yeah, the music will be around as long as we live in this construct of Western society. But this is where it came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is our culture now. You know, but and it's a good culture. It's a culture that keeps people together. It's a culture that fucking makes people be aware of not getting fucked over and all that shit. Like, it's good community shit. So that's what hip hop is also to me. It's like keeping people like-minded and not fighting with each other just so you can get spread apart. You know.
And we appreciate all your contributions to that culture, because you know, it takes a fucking village, and Anticon and JEL and what you guys have done themselves is a big part of that village. It's a huge part. Bro. As much as people want to discredit it.
I'm gonna big up myself real quick, but like, wait for the next Codefendents album.
It's
so good.
Let's go.
I did some shit about a year ago, but it's solidified. It's gonna happen because I just saw Chesky at a show a week or two ago, and he's like, "Oh, this shit's done. We want more shit from you." I'm gonna work with Chesky for a long time. I love that motherfucker.
I love Chesky. We love Chesky around here.
Chesky's good people.
The new album's got another song with D.O.C. and I'm doing like drum production on this shit. And I'm like, what? I got to work with D.O.C. too. Like, holy shit.
Fucking legend.
So like,
yeah.
I'm checking shit off in my 40s. I'm like, damn. Like Chuck D just played the Old Boy Rhymes Micah 9 beat I did on his radio show like a month ago, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Check that off.
Yep.
Chuck D played me on his radio show, so like that's where I like, that's hip hop to me. I'm like, oh fuck, the OGs are actually giving me some credit now. This way longer into it, but like this fucking amazing.
You're an OG now, dog. It's what's happening.
You are well deserved.
It's crazy. Sig, show him the picture you drew of him tonight, Sig. While you're up here, Sig, show him the picture you drew. Here is the picture we drew of you tonight. No, I'm fucking around. We don't do that shit around here. But I just wanted to have a little shout out Ty. No disrespect. We're just fucking around.
Thank you once again, JEL, for joining us on a Thursday.
You're a good man, Ty.
We can't appreciate you more for taking time out of your day, out of your night, and sitting down with us.
Can I do something real quick?
Of course, sure. Joe, whatever you want.
What do you say your name so I can get the face so I remember, like, the starting left, my man in a hoodie.
Jose.
No, right here.
Good.
I'm B Sick.
Yeah. Be sick.
I am
to meet you, brother.
JS3.
No,
JS3.
And I'm Nonsense, and bro, you're a good dude, man. It's very easy to talk to you. Awesome, cool guy, bro. Appreciate the conversation tonight.
And Nonsense. Thank you, brothers.
Yo, give it up for the one, the only, the legendary JEL.
Thank you so much, Joe. We appreciate you. Have a great rest of your night. And
hey,
thank you,
have a great holidays as well.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you, bro. For real.
Yeah, happy holidays, brother.
Hey, we'll wait all night for a JEL interview, man. We love you, man. We appreciate you.
Time machine music, brother. Time machine music. You got it.
Peace, bro.
The one and only JEL, baby.
Peace.
Be safe, y'all. I'll see y'all soon.
You too. Happy holidays, brother.